How many of you know that even dengue can cause complete hearing loss? Let me tell you a true story where this dengue fever changed his life completely. A middle-aged man came to us after recovering from dengue. During his recovery, he suddenly lost all his hearing in both the ears. He couldn't hear anything, not even people, not even sounds, not even his own voice too. Even the powerful hearing aids didn't help because this hearing loss was profound. It was total. He lost his job and was struggling financially. And the only option he was left was a cochlear implant. But his case scenario was not a routine one. Due to dengue infection, he landed up with meningitis, and that led to a condition called labyrinthitis ossificans within the inner ear. In this scenario, the inside of his inner ear has completely turned into bone. So he was referred to me as this was a complicated case scenario. Normally, we insert the implant through a natural small opening called the round window. But in this scenario, even that opening was blocked. And this scenario is known as labyrinthitis ossificans. Not just blockage of the opening of the round window, but also the entire half of the inner ear was blocked. There was complete bony ossification which was developed. In a normal person, our cochlea has 3 turns. The basal turn, the middle turn, and the apical turn. During a normal cochlear implant surgery, there will be a natural opening called round window through which I can pass a electrode of the cochlear implant, and as soon as we switch on the implant, the patient will be able to hear. But what happened in this particular case scenario is that the entire basal turn, that is nearly half of the cochlea, is completely ossified. There's completely bony ossification, which was a sequel of meningitis. What did I do? I had to go ahead, I had to bypass this entire thing and do a second turn cochleostomy. That is, I did a separate bony drilling through this and I passed a electrode from the second turn into the first turn. This looks quite simple, but imagine there are many surgical landmines surrounding this. Just above this, a few millimeters, that to 1 to 2 millimeters above the second turn cochleostomy, lies the facial nerve, the nerve which is responsible for the smile of the patient and the closure of the eye is just 1 to 2 millimeters above this. And the most important, carotid canal, the nerve which carries the blood supply to the brain, lies 8 millimeters anterior to this. Any difference in drilling, any position change in the drilling leads to carotid rupture, leading to massive bleeding intraoperatively. And all this was very carefully done by using a navigation, which was just like a GPS, a surgical navigation equipment. I planned everything and then proceeded for the surgery. Surgery went on successfully, and immediately after the surgery, intraoperatively itself, a C-arm imaging was done. And our audiologist did an intraoperative neural response telemetry, that is recording how the responses of the nerve are with this new implant that I have placed. Everything was excellent. 3 weeks after the surgery, the switch on happened. This is how the response of the patient was.
ఇప్పుడు బాగుందా?
ఇప్పుడు బాగుందన్న
మంచిగా వినిపిస్తుందా? వినిపిస్తుందా అండి?
వినిపిస్తుందా?
ఓకే.
If you have any questions regarding cochlear implants or cochlear implant surgeries, please do ask in the comment section below. I'm here to help. Thank you.